Hi there, I'm Adeline and it is so nice to meet you. Welcome to the 40th Celebrity Synastry chart reading where we will be covering Gigi Hadid and Leonardo DiCaprio. For those new and returning, I take notes on a Synastry chart looking at the personal planet signs aspects and if birth times available house overlays. I also add my insights and interpretations along the way and feel free to leave your own in the comments below. Before we start the reading, give this video a like and subscribe for more Celebrity Synastry chart readings. Let's get into it. Starting off with the sun, we have Gigi's sun in Taurus and Leonardo's sun in Scorpio. These are sister polarity signs. This is a strong magnetic connection, but there are misunderstandings and they can be possessive of each other. Leonardo demands emotional intimacy from Gigi. They need to learn how to compromise together. The possibility of having little in common, and Gigi may find Leonardo intimidating. For some reason, like, these two last things kind of indicate their age gap, if that makes sense. Just the whole thing with them finding little in common, especially Gigi being this like young influencer model and Leonardo being this like famous actor who's had this career spanning for decades. And the fact that Gigi finds him intimidating is just a bit, I don't know, to me, indicative of their age gap. Gigi's sun overlaid in Leonardo's 8th house. There's a strong bond and emotional dependence, which seems to be from Leonardo's side, it seems like. But Gigi is captivated by Leonardo. Gigi may feel like she cannot leave. Leonardo has the ability to transform Gigi. Both feel initially afraid of this relationship, certainly on Gigi's end if she finds him intimidating. Leonardo may have come into Gigi's life when she's at the bottom. I mean, makes sense, because her and Zayn, I believe, ended things soon before she met Leonardo. Both weirdly enjoy the darkness and depth of the relationship. Leonardo's sun in Gigi's 7th house overlaid. It's love-hate and they feel united together. They are deeply moved by each other and get in each other's heads. Sense that they are complementary. Both subconsciously prove they are separate from the relationship. I don't believe they have a real need to. You know, these were a couple, but not necessarily this massive couple. Like, especially when you compare Gigi and Zayn, I feel like those two can't really separate as much. Feel the other is a big presence in their life, need to find balance to make the relationship work. Both may be driven to express themselves in extreme ways. Possibility of their personalities being lost in the relationship. I assume this would be all very much internal. Because on the external, they are very much separate from each other. I don't associate Gigi and Leonardo as like this great massive couple that is kind of like stuck together. You can't really separate like some others. Like Gigi's sun opposite Leonardo's Mercury. Great intellectual relationship and misunderstandings occur. We see again. Gigi finds Leonardo too analytical. It's not good long term. I believe they already have separated at this point. Leonardo's understanding of Gigi, but Leonardo may feel misunderstood. I think this goes back to how they find it difficult to have things in common, I believe we saw in the beginning. Gigi may feel threatened and insignificant. Leonardo sees Gigi as self-centered and Gigi sees Leonardo as too rational. Need to have a level of emotional detachment for marriage. They didn't end up getting married, so I assume potentially, because I believe they did have a bit more of a longer relationship. It wasn't just like a quick thing. So potentially it was a bit more of an emotional detached relationship then. Gigi's sun opposite Leonardo's Mars. Sparks fly and Leonardo is defensive. Both assert their independence and they compete with each other. In their own way, they are like massive stars. You know, two big characters in a relationship, they get annoyed with each other easily. Gigi's sun opposite Leonardo's Uranus. Separation occurs. It's an exciting relationship. The relationship starts quickly. From what I remember, it was a bit sudden. It was just like one day, you know, Gigi and Leonardo DiCaprio are together. Like, what? Gigi finds Leonardo to be insensitive. We're kind of seeing again, he seems to be just not very, you know, in tune with things emotionally, I guess. Gigi kind of sees him a bit insensitive, rational, analytical of those things. Gigi feels burdened and Leonardo will likely feel trapped by Gigi over time. So this is a bit of a random observation, random note, but this does not surprise me, I guess. You know, Leonardo's never been like a family man in any way. If he is that kind of man, even if Gigi isn't pressuring him or anything, I wouldn't be surprised if he kind of still felt trapped anyway, you know, just because she has a kid. Leonardo's sun square Gigi's moon. There's a basic misunderstanding and practical disagreements. We see the misunderstandings again. Gigi sees Leonardo as too rational and selfish. We keep seeing this. She doesn't seem to view him very, warmly. Leonardo sees Gigi as too sensitive, and there's general discontent. Gigi may feel resentful towards Leonardo over time, so we're already starting to see the deteriorating factors in this relationship. Leonardo's sun opposite Gigi's Mercury, so this is a repeated aspect, just inverted, so all the same things from before are emphasized, but also Leonardo finds Gigi too analytical. Gigi is understanding of Leonardo, but Gigi may feel misunderstood, and Gigi sees Leonardo as self-centered. Leonardo may feel threatened and insignificant, and Leonardo sees Gigi as too rational. Leonardo's sun square Gigi's Mars. Sparks fly, it can be competitive, there's a tendency to interrupt each other. Individual egos create problems. I think I mentioned this before, I feel like a lot of this is kind of a product of them being two massive people together. Productive to work on a mutual goal. I don't believe they ever had any kind of project together as far as I know. Both need to stop focusing on the details, and Leonardo feels challenged by Gigi's dominance. Need to respect each other's natural habits. So genuinely, it does not seem like these people should have even had a serious relationship. Over time, get more annoyed of each other. Another deteriorating factor. Yay. Leonardo's sun, Trine Gigi's Saturn. They work well together and it's a sensible relationship. Gigi is loyal to Leonardo. Gigi guides Leonardo with her wisdom, and Leonardo is drawn to Gigi's maturity. I kind of find it funny. It seems like Gigi's the more assertive one, because didn't we see just before how Leonardo feels challenged by Gigi's dominance? That's kind of funny, considering she's significantly younger. Both desire to build a lasting relationship, but doesn't seem to be the case. Leonardo is encouraging and supportive of Gigi. Challenges are dealt with perseverance, and Gigi is attracted to Leonardo's will and personality. Wealth can be accumulated for marriage. I'm sure it could be, but it doesn't seem like marriage was meant to be. So now it's time for moon. We have Gigi's moon in Aquarius and Leonardo's moon in Libra. These are both air signs. This is a friendship, not necessarily denying that they had a relationship, but there's probably some kind of element of friendship to it. It's not super emotional. I think we did see before, mostly on Leonardo's part, he doesn't seem to be very emotional. He seems to be quite a rational person. Both see their relationship objectively. Yeah, they seem to both have that kind of mindset, because we haven't seen either of them being particularly too invested in this relationship. Enjoy conversing together, and Gigi thinks Leonardo is too needy. Gigi's moon overlaid in Leonardo's 5th house. Gigi sees Leonardo as perfect, and Leonardo is flattered by Gigi. I mean, everyone around Gigi's age, I would say, had some kind of crush on Leonardo DiCaprio. I think we all kind of did, especially when he was younger. So I kind of wouldn't be surprised if she did have a bit of a celebrity crush on him, and probably why she kind of is intimidated by him. Gigi drops her emotional guard around Leonardo, and she feels an emotional connection with him. Leonardo appreciates their emotional relationship. Doesn't seem to be very deep though. I mean, we'll see a bit more. They both enjoy spending time together, and they have lots of fun together. Leonardo's moon in Gigi's 6th house overlaid. Leonardo has conflicting feelings towards Gigi. I so see that. Especially since we did see that Leonardo is challenged by her dominance, but also is drawn to her maturity. That's a bit easy to create a resentful relationship. I mean, this whole reading has just been deteriorating of resent. Both are too helpful to each other and can be beneficial working towards a mutual goal. We see again, maybe they did work on something together. Their moons are trying together, so there's a desire to nurture each other, and they are sensitive to each other's needs. Long-term or marriage. It's weird how we've kind of seen this can be potential for marriage. We've seen that a few times. But that does seem to be getting overpowered by the deteriorating factors. They share similar tastes and they feel safe together. Family plays an important part in the relationship. Yeah, I would say so. Gigi has the whole child she needs to look after. Possibility of being too accommodating to each other, and there's a tendency to avoid hurting each other. I mean, yeah, we haven't seen necessarily that they dislike each other. I think it's just general irritation, general annoyance with each other. Now for the intermission. This video is brought to you by me, my Etsy store, Adeline the Astrologer. If you ever watch this and think, hey, I would like her to read my Synastry chart, Well, I will. I do personalized synastry readings on my Etsy store, both basic and detailed. The basic one is very simple to understand. It's not overwhelming at all. It's pretty good for those that are beginners to astrology, just getting the head around astrology, or just as a fun gift idea. The detailed one is just like what I do on my channel, just a lot of insight and interpretation on your chart. So if you are interested in that and everything else astrology and tarot related, readings and gifts, then definitely check out my Etsy store. Links are below. I'm always releasing new things, so definitely check it out if you're interested. You can even just favorite the store just to show your support for free. Thanks for listening, and let's get back to the reading. Gigi's moon square Leonardo's Venus. Previous relationships negatively impact this relationship. I mean, this could be a lot of things. I guess like on Gigi's end, the main one would be Zayn Malik. Because that's a very significant relationship in her life still, and kind of always will be, the father of her child. Leonardo, that could be a plethora of women, so I'm not really surprised. There's a lot of relationships that could negatively impact this one. There's a strong connection. Gigi may not be able to provide Leonardo with the emotional nourishment he wants. I mean, yeah, they don't seem to really connect emotionally super well. Like, there does seem to be that desire and like potential, but it doesn't seem to be being fulfilled. Leonardo may struggle with his self-worth, and both tend to take each other for granted. I think especially on Gigi's end, like she got out of a serious relationship and was a new mother when she got with Leonardo, so, you know, it would have, I guess, like had some more healing time, I guess you could say. Their values are in conflict. Living beyond means will create strains, and they both need to learn to compromise. We saw again, I guess that's the whole thing, like there's just a lack of compromise, because we've seen so many misunderstandings in this reading as well. Both like each other but not their habits. Yeah, this makes complete sense to me, because there's nothing like, oh, we dislike each other, that it's so challenging and everything. Both may feel misunderstood. We've seen that. This relationship seems to just be one big misunderstanding. Both will learn how to cooperate. Leonardo sees Gigi as needy. Leonardo doesn't always understand Gigi's emotions. Gigi sees Leonardo as narcissistic. I think we've kept seeing that. Gigi definitely seems to view Leonardo as a bit more like of a detached man. This is not the best example or comparison, but like it's the first one I can think of. So don't take this too literally, but it is sort of like when a parent, like a child, sees a parent as being very detached, and it kind of is because that parent, it just grew up in a very detached generation. If that makes sense, you know, there is just that lack of like sort of connection and love and just, you know, depth. It is just this person that is very detached, rational, and just is very selfish, because they seem to only see things from their perspective, if that makes sense. So I feel like you can really see the generation gap in this relationship from what we're seeing. Leonardo's moon sextile Gigi's Mars. They are open with each other. Gigi feels more assertive. We see again mutual fascination. I definitely see this on Gigi's. It does seem to be the case, which I'm not surprised at all, that Gigi had a bit of like celebrity crush on him, and now, oh my gosh, Leonardo DiCaprio, wow. Leonardo makes Gigi feel at ease, and Leonardo feeds into Gigi's ego. Okay. Gigi helps Leonardo to be more confident and bold. I think we did see earlier that Leonardo has conflicting feelings about Gigi, and I'm not surprised, because we did see before how he struggles with his self-worth, but then we see this and a lot of other things that are a bit wishy-washy with him. Both learn about themselves here and can be tumultuous at times, as we've been seeing. Leonardo's moon sextile Gigi's Jupiter. There's good fortune. They're a popular couple. I mean, maybe I'm out of the loop with this one. I don't think they ever were that popular. I guess I'm just comparing everything to like Gigi and saying like that was the popular like it couple. Maybe they were on. I'm just out of the loop. Let me know what you guys think. Likely for them to support charities together. Excessiveness could be an issue. I think we saw again, and they have an intellectual understanding. So now it's time for Mercury. We have Gigi's Mercury in Taurus and Leonardo's Mercury in Libra. These are both signs ruled by Venus. Gigi gets impatient with Leonardo, and Gigi teaches Leonardo to be more practical. Interesting, because I think we did see that Gigi thinks of him as too practical, so. Leonardo teaches Gigi to be open-minded, and they fundamentally communicate the same way. Gigi's Mars in Leonardo's 8th house overlaid. Gigi can hurt Leonardo with words. Gigi is prone to dominating conversation. She definitely seems to be the more assertive, dominant one here. She wears the pants, I guess. Leonardo takes conversation seriously, and they have clear and precise conversation. Conversations tend to get deep quickly. Leonardo's Mercury in Gigi's 6th house. Leonardo's mind is stable around Gigi. Leonardo communicates with Gigi practically. Potentially why Gigi sees him as a bit more like detached and everything, because if he does communicate that way, Gigi thinks that Leonardo is reliable, and Gigi sees Leonardo as a stable companion. Interesting. So I guess we're seeing why, because we were seeing a lot of deteriorating factors, but then also the factors like that potentially there's like potential for marriage, and I guess it would be because they do see each other as potential for marriage. Gigi's Mercury opposite Leonardo's Mars. They likely bicker a lot. I'm not surprised. Gigi feels her intelligence has been freshened by Leo. Gosh. Gigi's thoughts may rub Leonardo the wrong way. I guess this goes back to how Gigi hurts Leonardo with her words. I guess just what she says sometimes can rub him off the wrong way. Leonardo wants Gigi to be more docile. Sorry? Like, it makes sense though, because she seems to be very like assertive and like hold the power here. Leonardo frequently interrupts. I think we did see that they interrupt each other a lot, potentially why they would bicker a lot. Leonardo tries to force his opinion on Gigi, and it's difficult to live together. We see again, these two are very strange. I feel like I'm saying this again, where you really see the age gap between these two. It's not in a way where it's like, oh, they just so happen to like, I don't know, fall in love with someone that was a different age. It seems to be genuinely like poor. Leonardo's Mercury square Gigi's Uranus. Challenge the way the other looks at things. I'm not surprised. Like, we saw how Leonardo tries to force his opinion onto Gigi, and I think also we saw that Leonardo influences Gigi to be a bit more open-minded, so I guess this will come more from Leonardo's end. Intellectual conversations, I believe we see again. Gigi finds Leonardo too traditional. A record box. But seriously, you really see that age gap here. Leonardo finds it difficult to depend on Gigi. Leonardo's Mercury square Gigi's Neptune. They think creatively around each other. I think it was Leonardo's the one that feels he can think better around Gigi, so it kind of adds up. Both need to be clearer with communication. Leonardo misunderstands Gigi. Again, Leonardo sees Gigi as abstract. Gigi sees Leonardo as practical and logical. Again, Leonardo's trust for Gigi fades, so it's another deteriorating factor. This is such a record player now. Gigi feels misunderstood by Leonardo. And Gigi feels limited by Leonardo. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So now it's time for Venus. So we have Gigi's Venus in Aries and Leonardo's Venus in Scorpio. In traditional astrology, Aries and Scorpio are both ruled by the Mars planet. They're an unusual couple. Yeah, I would say so. Purely based on the fact they kind of feel like they belong in different times, if that makes sense. It's more so with like Gigi, she's kind of like a symbol of like the new age model, if that makes sense, like being popular on social media and an influencer, and also having those like nepotistic connections, which is a fairly modern thing. Difficult to have a harmonious relationship. That's the whole reading so far. Emotionally difficult to be short term. I see that because I mean we have seen like once or twice potential to be marriage or long term, but like we saw so many deteriorating factors, it's not funny. Passionate relationship, and Leonardo wants commitment and consistency from Gigi. Gigi's Venus overlaid in Leonardo's 6th house. Gigi feels they don't have much in common. I think we saw this at the very beginning. They feel they have little in common. Neither sees the other as their type. I mean, on Leonardo's end, I mean, this is kind of true though, because I think that it was a bit of a joke that Gigi was like 26 or something, so like why is Leonardo dating her? But also with Gigi, she's always kind of stuck with people around the same age as her, I believe, like with Zayn Malik and Cody Simpson. I don't know if there was anyone else, but they were like of a similar age to her. Leonardo senses Gigi isn't really into him. Interesting. I mean, potentially why he struggles with his self-esteem here. or self-worth, sorry, and he has conflicting feelings about Gigi. I mean, we have seen that Gigi finds him intimidating and sees him as perfect, but I guess like maybe he feels it's not deep enough for him. Helpful and productive relationship, and together as a result of duty obligation. I hate seeing this. I don't see why though, if that makes sense. It's so random for them to be together as like some publicity thing. So I highly doubt it. Maybe we'll see a bit more because we haven't seen anything else to indicate it. Leonardo's Venus in Gigi's 7th house overlaid. Leonardo sees Gigi as the perfect partner. I'm pretty sure we did see earlier. They are complementary. I believe we see again. Gigi feels comfortable around Leonardo and Leonardo satisfies Gigi's needs. They both want to please each other and longevity relies on Gigi's attraction to Leonardo. That's kind of funny. I mean, genuinely, I'm not surprised. Leonardo seems to want to get more out of this relationship than Gigi. Like, genuinely, it seems like Gigi just kind of jumped into this relationship because, like, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio, like, so cool. It's obviously not these days, but like Leonardo in his prime was like it, and I think a lot of people would still feel that way about the young version of him. So I wouldn't be surprised if she just kind of jumped into it for that and kind of realized maybe he's not all out. Leonardo's Venus squared Gigi's Mars. Jealousy and possessiveness. I think we have seen a couple possessive factors, but it doesn't seem to be too strong. Because normally we see so many and it's like, okay, this person is very possessive of the other person, or they're both possessive of each other. But we honestly haven't seen much of the possessiveness, which is a nice break. Leonardo sees Gigi as dominant. We see again. Gigi sees Leonardo as seductive with no substance. I mean, low-key, like, I want to twist this because it would make sense if like Gigi was just with him because, oh my god, Leonardo DiCaprio. Because if you just have it like, oh, whatever, celebrity crush on him, you don't really see them with a great deal of substance, you know? You kind of see them for their image. Leonardo's Venus trine Gigi's Saturn. Gigi stabilizes Leonardo's emotions. I guess, like, because we did see a couple times he appreciates the emotional relationship, so I guess this is where it would come in because we haven't seen a great amount of emotion, but maybe just Gigi's presence like calms him down or something. I mean, we did see how Leonardo feels he can think better around Gigi, I believe. There's a strong commitment and they sacrifice for each other. See relationship as everlasting. Yeah, it's funny how we do see these couple of things, like they see each other as this like long-term person, but I think it seems to just be like they got to know each other. They help each other in career. I genuinely wonder how, because we have seen like they make money together as a result of duty, and now this. I genuinely wonder, this seems to be a bigger relationship than it was, from what I know anyway. I'm so curious what you guys have to say about this. Leonardo admires Gigi's strength. So now it's time for Mars. We have Gigi's Mars in Leo and Leonardo's Mars in Scorpio. These are both fixed signs. Both prefer to follow their instincts. They conflict as they are both naturally dominant. The only way I see, because Gigi is the only one that seems to be naturally dominant, I think the only way Leonardo is because of his age and his status and everything. Possessive of each other and they have mutual respect. I honestly don't think they're strongly possessive of each other. Just normal, be loyal to me, I'll be loyal to you. Gigi's Mars overlaid in Leonardo's 11th house. Gigi is detached when pursuing Leonardo. This is what I've been saying. I genuinely feel like Gigi had this like silly little crush on Leonardo and was like, it would be cool to be with him, but then this happened. Like, both enjoy the freedom here. I wouldn't be surprised if Gigi did have this like crush on Leonardo. And because we did see how he came into her life when she was at the bottom, she potentially wanted just to have something fun to get her mind of things. And then you have Leonardo, who's very like anti-commitment, it seems like, to the public anyway. Leonardo always feels out of Gigi's reach. Leonardo is intrigued by Gigi's rebelliousness. Leonardo's Mars in Gigi's 7th house. Leonardo speeds up the relationship. This is interesting because like we are oddly enough seeing that Leonardo kind of takes Gigi seriously. Leonardo is calm around Gigi. What did I just say? He's interesting. Leonardo wants to please Gigi. I think we did see before how he goes out to satisfy Gigi's needs, and they both enjoy spending time together. We see again, this is so interesting. That was the final overlay. There were no Mars aspects, bringing us to the end of the reading. Please share your thoughts below for this one because I would be so interested to hear what you guys have to say about this one. If you have made it this far, please consider subscribing. I post these readings weekly. Besides that, give this video a like and I will see you guys next time. Bye!